Bon dia. Bon dia a tothom. Buenos días. Honorable rectors, members of the Board of the Trustees, President of the Barcelona Graduate School of Economics, faculty, graduates, and their families, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the AXA Auditory. It's a great pleasure for you to host your graduation in the beautiful building was avant-garde St. Jesus Leia complex, into an emblematic reference of Barcelona. This is your home. I would also like to thank the Barcelona ECA for giving me the opportunity to address you today and brighten how AXA Spain and AXA Reserve Fund are committed with the institution and your education. Today is a celebration and combination of all your hard work and merit achievement throughout the year. It is a first step on the most important, without doubt, and I glad you mark you the beginning of a long and productive way. You are young, with qualified and weight and healthy ambition. Your contributions certainly will be very important for the society of today and tomorrow. You have a great responsibility and journey full of chance. I'm convinced that you will know how to deal with it. Thank you and congratulations and good luck.
Thanks all of you for coming. This is the 8th year that we have a new generation of masters and diplomas from the Barcelona Graduate School of Economics. It's 218 of you from 50 nationalities, and as in previous years, you will go and get good jobs, as this had happened in the last 7 years, all over the world. And we'll come back one day, because we have these alumni reunions, and you will realize that in addition to having a good graduate education, you also had good friends from this year. So this is really a change, a good step in your lives, and it has been possible with the support, of course, of your families, of your friends, of your decision. And here, of all the faculty, the staff, Teresa Garcia Milà, director, the team that works with her, all the people who have been making this possible. So it's a celebration day, and it's a pleasure for me to welcome all of you. I will just pass the word to the panel that will speak each one of them. First of all, Antoni Brufau, the chairman of Repsol, who's going to give a graduation speech.
Good morning to everybody. Esteemed rectors of Pompeu Fabra University and the Autonomous University of Barcelona, President of the Barcelona School of Economics, graduates, faculty and members, family and friends. First and foremost, I would like to thank the Barcelona Graduate School of Economics for honoring me with their invitation to stand before you today and share a few words as we celebrate a new graduation ceremony. And of course, my congratulations to the graduates and their family and friends. You should all feel rightfully proud of yourself for having reached this milestone in your life. It means you have made a sacrifice to complete the work required of you. You have met challenges head-on and not settled for less in life. This reminds me of something Willy Brandt, a prestigious politician, a former chancellor of Germany, often said, and which remains engraved in his epitaph. I did what I could. This is invariably what really matters, to spare no effort, to ignore the easy route of complacency. This is a truly special occasion. For me, it is always an immense pleasure to be close to the classrooms and in the presence of students, reliving the thrill of being about to set out on your journey and of putting theory into practice. Having the opportunity to speak to a group of new graduates, such as yourself, who are now starting their journey in the professional world, is both a privilege and a responsibility. All the more so when we remember that because of your top drawer profiles and accomplishments to date, and because you have graduated from such a prestigious institution, you represent the pinnacle of academic excellence. In these few minutes I intend to share with you, I will be happy if you take away one or two things that may prove useful in dealing with the many challenges that await you in life. I'm sure that during this last year you have been thinking not only about your aims in life, but also about what society demands of you. I will try to answer the latter point for you. Society demands you to be the leaders of tomorrow. But what is a leader supposed to be? Despite being such a commonly used word, it rarely has a satisfactory definition. What I can tell you, however, is what a leader is not. A leader is not a manager. A manager is someone who knows how to manage complex affairs with varying degrees of success, but who acts consistently and following a set procedure. Fortunately, this is not too hard to learn. A leader, on the other hand, is something quite different. A leader is someone who knows how to anticipate change, someone who sees what others are unable to see, someone who stays one step ahead of events and manages them before they happen. We might say that leadership is simply the ability to manage change. As I look at you, I see an excellent diverse group of individuals from different countries across the globe. Yet, I also see many things in common. Looking at your average age, roughly 25, I realized that you have all grown up and developed in the communication society, in which everything can be found on the internet, in which everything is shared, and in which everything is consulted. Despite your diversity, in this regard, you are all alike and you speak the same language. And this is also how your future style of leadership should be: shared and collaborative, never individualistic. You must surround yourself with people different to you and who have different points of view, as they will broaden your horizons and enrich the way you see things. Seek the opinions of others, even though you might not like what you hear. Do not ever be afraid to ask, as he who is afraid to ask is afraid to learn. And if leading means managing change, then without doubt leadership becomes more interesting the quicker and more unpredictable the changes become. None more so than in the current environment. The world has never been more complex, owing to the interaction and crossover of so many variables. And precisely for this reason, changes are happening more rapidly than ever. Whereas other periods in history can be seen as transition periods between different states of equilibrium, the world today has done away with this balance to become a constantly flowing stream of endless changes. An engineer would say that we are in a permanent state of a turbulent flow. You need only read the press each morning to see and appreciate the extent of this. Therefore, as I have often said, in these times we live in, it is not a question of changing context, but rather than change is the context. So, how do we respond to this paradigm? As I see things, to successfully navigate change, we must try to determine which point on the horizon we are heading for and how to get there. And I use the term horizon because it has something in common with the future. It allows us to set a course, but remains distant no matter how far we travel. Of course, I do not claim to know what the future holds, but what I can tell you for sure is that the two main drivers and builders of the future are technology and society. For the most part, anticipating the future means understanding the disruptive changes that pave the way for technological advances and being able to visualize what society is going to demand even before society itself knows it. Our ability to anticipate and respond accordingly to disruptive changes has produced winners and losers as the years go by. Without dwelling on the matter, there are a couple of eye-opening examples I may mention. In 2004, Blockbuster had 60,000 employees across numerous countries, yet it failed to appreciate and understand the rapid emergence of digital media and insisted on portraying itself as a rental company for movies and video games. Instead of morphing into an entertainment company, it was declared bankrupt in September 2010. On the flip side of the coin, Apple launched its iPod in 2001 as a digital music player, while in 2013, its online iTunes store sold 25 billion songs downloaded worldwide. I think this example is very revealing because the iPod-iTunes pairing provides an excellent example of how technology and social aspirations can be successfully combined, in the case making Apple almost invincible. Nokia was forced to sell its mobile phone division to Microsoft last year because of its failure to foresee the importance of the Internet in the world of telephony, in a stark contrast to the extraordinary success Samsung is currently enjoying. Let us not forget that roughly 1 million smartphones are registered every day across the globe, more than the number of babies being born. And nearly half of all new smartphones are Samsung devices. After a successful 130 years in business, Kodak declared itself bankrupt in 2012, as it was simply unable to adapt its business to the new digital backdrop. In 1986, 4 employees set up Nespresso in Switzerland. The company currently boasts over 4,500 employees and is the most profitable business of the Nestlé Group. Lessons can be learned from everything. Although my company, Repsol, does not operate in any of this rapidly changing and tumultuous sector, we should never lose sight on these valuable lessons. Allow me to share with you a few thoughts on the reality of my company. Could similar stories unfold in the energy sector? Perhaps not as dramatically or as quickly, but there can be no doubt that the energy sector is going to witness a major transformation over the coming 20 years. And the success or failure of our strategic responses today will hinge on how clever and accurate we are at anticipating the changes. I believe the following theorem, which has 2 axioms, sums up the reasons behind the changes we are likely to see and the future outlook for the energy sector. The global society will continue to demand more and more energy as it continues its fights against poverty and in pursuing greater levels of well-being. In tandem with this, society is becoming increasingly vocal in demanding that we decarbonize our production and consumption models so as not to bring about climate changes that could prove catastrophic for generations to come. This is already a pressing concern, yet I believe it will be even more so following the World Climate Summit to be held in Paris towards the end of the year, which must surely result in a multilateral agreement of unprecedented reach in the fight against climate change. I believe that the event will also help to generate a sense of urgency in the international public opinion, something we cannot possibly ignore. Claiming that these two objectives are mutually exclusive or an impossible fit simply means that one has failed to see things as they are. A business-usual approach and seeing things as we have always seen them can only lead to failure and even melancholy, as often happens when our work comes to nothing. We must be able to find the intersection linking these two routes, which have until now run in an apparently parallel model. By linking them up, we can progress along a single path heading in the same direction. To achieve this, we must listen to society, as social trends and patterns tend to indicate the path to follow. Let's be honest, as business people, we sometimes feel we know how things really are. But when the business world and society disagree, it is more likely that we have made a mistake than everyone else being wrong. Perhaps it is just a question of time. I have no doubt that the interests and priorities that society is expressing today will be the interests and priorities of our shareholders tomorrow. The future key to reaching this intersection of the two objectives is being able to use three essential tools: innovation culture, commitment to talent, and globalization. Allow me to explain how I see these concepts. Firstly, the innovation culture means stepping well outside our comfort zone. There is no greater threat to innovation than complacency. As soon as we slip into a comfortable routine because we believe we are doing things well enough, alarm bells should ring. We must remain permanently unsatisfied with our creative endeavors. That does not mean that things can always be done better, but that things must always be done better. For a true innovation culture to exist, we must also make sure that people are not afraid to make mistakes. When properly analyzed, mistakes are one of the most powerful learning tools. He who remains overly cautious for fear of failure will end up in a rut. Only by accepting our mistakes and the risk of getting it wrong can we create the space needed for the disruptive technological solutions we need to emerge. Secondly, there is no more powerful tool to bring about transformation than human talent. In a bunch of young talented people working out of a garage, having taken the world as we know it by storm, and has happened in many other occasions, imagine the possibilities in store if we create a global ecosystem for detecting and nourishing talent. And talent has a unique characteristic. You never know where you are going to find it, in men or in women, in conventional or unconventional capabilities, in people that speak different languages and who have different nationalities and cultures, in people of any ethnic origin, creed, or social background. There is nothing in the world more democratic and globally distributed than talent. But for talent to flourish, all we need is a good educational system, support for bold creativity and enterprises, and respect for diversity. And on a final note, I would like to briefly discuss globalization as our third tool. In reality, the concept is parallel to the two aspects I have just mentioned. In my opinion, globalization is far from being a more sophisticated version of internationalization. Understanding globalization means picturing the giant value chain up of flows of ideas and resources, innovation and talent, all interacting and merging across the globe. The global value chain is in permanent flux, creating new paradigms while casting off others. New challenges and opportunities are constantly emerging, along with new competitors and patterns and partners, problems and the talent need to get around them. I do hope I have been able to transmit today some of the concepts that have guided me over the course of my career, in which I have learned to recognize talent on first glance. And I can tell you that there is a lot on display before me now. I know that many leaders of tomorrow will walk away from these classrooms today, and this is both a major challenge and a huge responsibility. Once again, congratulations, and I wish you all the success you so richly deserve. I am in no doubt that whenever you may be, your success will speak volumes about your personal merits and the level of excellence that our Barcelona Graduate School of Economics has reached in such a short period of time. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thanks for your very thoughtful words. I knew that having the leading CEO in Spain will help everyone here. And we tried to do Barcelona GSE some of the things you mentioned, by being very international, as I mentioned before, but also by having this mix of very strong graduate education and research. The combination of both is what has made us strong, and make it that now is an element of reference in research and economics internationally. Most of the leading researchers in the world now come sometime or another to Barcelona for the forum or other activities we do. And this capacity to be in the frontier in our field, I think, is a good element to build for you. We did in a few years, as you mentioned, but we also built. We built having two very strong public universities, Universitat Pompeu Fabra and the Universitat Autònoma. So it's a pleasure for me to give the word to Ángel Lozano, Vice-Rector of the Universitat Pompeu Fabra Research.
Thank you. Good morning on this hot and heavy day. Let me first of all excuse the absence of our rector, who's been unable to attend. I am honored to be here in his stead to convey his wishes and to address you briefly on behalf of UPF. I already had the pleasure of attending the opening of the academic year some months ago, and now I am here for graduation. So I am given the unusual opportunity of following up on my own remarks. I said back then in September that the Barcelona GSE is a beacon and that its graduates should shine as a beacon, providing clarity and insight in these times of uncertainty and confusion. And well, I'm reaffirming those words today, given, for instance, what's happening in Greece. Every roundtable I've been able to catch on TV or radio the last few days on this subject has featured economists propounding exactly opposite positions. And frankly, I couldn't tell you who was right. So I am confident that in a few years, many of you will be out there providing guidance to our citizens and exercising leadership. This is the wish that I am casting today, that you will step up to the challenge of these times. So just go out there and make us proud, and please spread the gospel that Barcelona, and this school in particular, is one of the best places anywhere to pursue graduate studies in economics. Thank you, and may the force be with you.
in doing research part is also getting grants and fellowships to continue this work. One of the ones we have now is precisely to assess with other research centers and study more the architecture of the European Monetary Union. And exactly the issues happening these days are the ones that we are also studying and trying to help. So it's also my pleasure to present Montserrat Farrell, Vice-Rector de la Universitat Autònoma de Barcelona.
Thank you, Ramon. Good morning, students, families, authorities, colleagues, friends, everybody. I'm excusing also the absence of our rector, and also I'm very honored to be here at this celebration as a representative of one of the universities at which the Barcelona Graduate School of Economics is attached. That is the Universitat Autònoma of Barcelona. Today we are celebrating that you have very successfully finished your master's degree, all of them within the field of economics. Today is all about you. It is a very special moment. I'm sure you have done a lot of work, tons of hours of serious studying, lots of homeworks, long lists of exercises. You have been continuously evaluated on your abilities, and you have learned much more deeply the main concepts you need to understand how economic variables relate and how this helps to analyze all sorts of problems. Sometimes you think and you complain that we are overloading you with mathematical tools, instruments, but I can assure you that you will benefit from it all your life. The world is more uncertain than ever. Our speaker has insisted on it, Vice Rector also. But as you know now, we have powerful instruments to analyze the information available in order to make the right decisions. And imagine the responsibility. You will have to define what are right decisions. You are now better prepared for it. I'm sure by personal experience that all what you have learned will be useful in your life in one way or another. Today is your day. Congratulations for your achievements. Congratulations to your family that I'm sure has helped very much to your success. I hope having been here at our school will open all kinds of doors in your life, socially speaking and professionally, and I hope also that you have enjoyed our company and you have fulfilled your expectations. Thank you for being with us. Congratulations again, and I wish you very good luck with all your lives.
And no better thanks than getting your diploma. So now we pass to the moment of handing the diplomas. And something new this year is we have a new master's, as you know, on data science. So it will be the first year. It will be the first year.
Hello, everybody. We're going to now handle the diplomas. Thank everyone for coming. So everybody, family, relatives, friends, significant others, staff, directors, faculty, students, congratulations. Please join me congratulating the students. We're going to start in this order from the Master in Competition and Market Regulation. Francesca Amore, José Carlos Andrade, Carla Banfi, Natalia Bernardo, Enrico Camarda. Fernando Cota, Daniele Croti, Stefania Germinario, Rafael Kuhlmann, Caricoiz Mauleón. Kerubo Ombati, Antonia Vaca. Thank you, competition students. So now we're going to go with the students in the Master in Economics of Public Policy. Yeah. Marta Aguilera, Josep Amer, Benjamin Anderson, Guillermo Abellan, Ramiro Burga. Mauro Bux, Michael Shuzuri, Ignacio Cloud, Hugo Ferradans, Ian Helfrich. Víctor Hernández, Carla Hernández, Geneviève Jeffrey, Ariadna Zhou, Yezung Yang. Hailey Kornblum, Yiting Kuo, Yonti Lee, Laura Lopez, Sonke Matthews. Ali Khan Usturk, Catherine Partridge, Alessandro Puce, Aurelia Schulen, Jung Eun Zon. Luigi Stamati, Stella Vesi, Guglielmo Ventura, Nicolas Volkhausen, Elena Vavic. So thank you very much, Public Policy. So now we're going for the next program, and this is International Trade, Finance and Development. So here we go. Joao Amaral, Ana Arencibia, Luis Diego Barrot, Surian Suboy, Josep Casas. Marina Conesa, Juan Crespo, Ayman El Darawi, Nadim Elayan, Imon Gamble. Lindsay Grant, Nicola Heusel, Debaria Yana, Yulia Litvinenko, Ruth Llobet. David Martinez, Amir Nadarevich, Laura Nozohur, Alexander Om, Hans Parmentier. Gregory Raifa, Isaac Re, Asmina Rede, Santiago Rego, Marlene Romp. Isabel Salcher, Erika Sanchez, John Spear, Jan Stubna, Feodora Teti. And finally, for ITFD, Luke Turlings, Jacopo Tonini, Andreas Volhuta, Chad Zido. So thank you very much for the ITFD program. Now we're going to go next one for macroeconomic policy and financial markets. Ana Andrade, Giulia Boccarini, Fadwa Camacho, Nicola Di Renzo, Soren Fries. Víctor García, Roy Guloglu, Sara Hidalgo, Adrian Ifrim y Eugene G. Esgui Kurt, Marco Loschiavo, Cédric Lutin, Nicolò Maffei, Jorge Meliveo. Unundur Ragnarsson, Rafael Ravnik, Willy Sherryball, Stilianos Tsiaras, Thor Tunsberg, Gorov Meta. So that was it for the macro program. So now let's go for the big one, for the Master in Economics. Mete Albert, Julian Albert, Jacques Alcabés, Martín Aragoneses, Roberto Asmat. Rebecca Bellman, Bennett Berger, Osgun Bikakli, Stephanie Bossard, Katerina Brest. Nikolai Broberg, Matteo Clavijo, Massimiliano Cologgi, Dan Curry, Navi Daliwal. Feng Ding, Ligia Dorobantu, Natalia Dourado, Sebastián Ellingsen, Teresa Esteban. Christopher Evans, Andreas Freitag, Yuki Gao, Henry Glasspool, Elisaveta Gonchar. Niharika Gopalashari, Angelo Gutierrez, Annalena Hagenawa, Luis Heather, Adilzan Ismailov. Jennifer Kola, Hugo Kaminski, Ilya Kantorovich, Florian Korte, Ursa Krenk. Ana Kresic, Pablo Lara, Rafaele Manini, Alejandro Martínez, Inés Martins. Mariona Mas, Valentino Masucci, Patrick Maya, Olivier Meyer, Kevin Nyamea. Arturo Pallardó, Albert Palomar, Johannes Prochaska, Sebastian Rast, Lucas Reis. Guglielmo Righi, James Sampi, Anthony Schilling, Nicolas Schoel, Mateus Ceso. Antoine Sigvald, Luca Spaniard, Kinga Czorzewska, Daniel Walker, Xinhua Wang. Yiru Wang, Konstantin Werner, Ming Yu Wong, Ray Xu, Lang Zhou, Gaetano Puleri. So thank you very much, economics program. Now, please join me in congratulating the students for the Master in Finance. Octavi Castells, Roger Díez, Aisulu Idrisova, Juan Imbet, Jaime López. Nuria Mata, Simen Narum, Berenice Ramírez, Vinit Shah, Jelena Skaric. And finally, Andrea Trascurato, Tao Tzu, Marcelo Sinchenko. So thank you, Finance. And finally, honestly, I'm very happy to say that for the first time ever with us, the Master in Data Science. Rishab Arnihotri, Silvia Ariza, Gaston Besançon, Stephen Carmody, Stefano Costantini. Laura Cosma, Samantha Dalton, Maria Fernandez, Tim Krayenkamp, Monica Krzyzanowska. Leave the spot. Jessica Leal, Yevgeny Levin, Jordan McIver, Anestis Papanikolaou, Timothée Stumpf, Juan Manuel Verdú. Congratulations. Thank you very much for these students. It has been a pleasure to be with us for this year. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Now you are alumni of the Barcelona Graduate School of Economics. Welcome. So I wanted to give the floor to Sarah Joy, analyst in General Investment Europe, graduated in Macroeconomics and Financial Markets 2013-2014. Sarah?
Good morning, everybody. Dear graduates, relatives, professors, directors, and members of the board, let me thank all the Barcelona GSE staff for giving me the opportunity to be here today to speak about my studying and professional experience and to share with you some thoughts I consider to be relevant. Let me also congratulate with all of you graduating today. I perfectly know how tough has been this year for you and how strong have been your effort and your commitment if you are here today. So my most sincere congratulations. Today, I would like to speak about choices. It was 2012 when I completed my first master in economics in Italy. At that time, we were in the middle of one of the worst crises Europe had ever seen, and getting a job in our field, at least in Italy, was one of the most challenging achievements for a fresh graduate like me. On my side, I was not luckier than my classmates, and with respect to a significant portion of them, I had a major disadvantage. I loved what I had studied, in particular macroeconomics and econometrics, and I couldn't think about getting a job that was not related somehow with those subjects. Maybe it was not a wise approach, but despite of the situation in the labor market, I was not flexible on that point. I knew what my passions were and wanted to pursue them. After some months of frustrating job seeking, all I was offered were some temporary jobs that had nothing to do with macro. Everybody, from my family to friends, suggested me to give up with my utopistic searching and to face the reality, accepting one of the proposals available. I can still perfectly remember the feeling. The sense of having no choices, of not being able to be an active character in the play of my own life, together with the growing lack of confidence in myself and in the future. It was at that point that I received a scholarship from a European project to finance the prosecution of my studies, and I decided to apply for the master program in macroeconomic policy and financial markets. And then the good part of the story began. Being a student at the Barcelona GSC was a unique experience, both personally and professionally. Here, I had the opportunity to deepen my knowledge of quantitative and computational tools, to receive an excellent education in economics from a top world-class faculty, and to get in touch with a lively community of researchers and students. But here, I also met people from many different countries, with whom I spent a wonderful year together, sharing the same efforts and satisfaction, and who I had the pleasure to call friends. We shared endless homeworks and amazing vacations. We gave each other mutual help and support, and we created bonds that go beyond the simple professional framework. Without these wonderful people, my experience in Barcelona would not have been the same. And finally, a very valuable thing the Barcelona GSC gave to me was the non-negligible privilege to choose. At the end of my master, I finally had in front of me all the main possibilities an economist may wish to have after graduating. I could decide to come back home and work as a macro analyst in one of the biggest asset management companies in Italy. I was offered to join an important think tank in Brussels as a research assistant, and I obtained a scholarship to start a PhD in a well-known Italian university. It was far more than what I could wish. But if on one side I was enthusiastic and I felt completely awarded for all my efforts, on the other side, I soon realized that what I was facing was in fact one of the most difficult problems of constraint maximization I had ever tried to solve. Unfortunately, and now I hope that all the professors sitting here will apologize me somehow, there are decision problems that you cannot solve by maximizing a Lagrangian. With respect to all the time and effort you put in working out for certain conditions this year, this is of course a bad news. But this is also a good one, because it does mean that there is still something to which we, as economists, are not able to attach a monetary value. The excitement of living a new experience abroad, the place you love and where you would like to live, your friends and relatives, the pure intellectual pleasure of studying. All these things cannot be quantified, but may have an extraordinary value. On my side, I have to recognize that I was extremely lucky with my applications. But I also have to say that it was very difficult for me to decide what was the path I wanted to follow. Choices can be really easy, but can also be very difficult and even painful. But the opportunity to choose is what makes you growing up. It leaves you with a deeper consciousness of yourselves, of your ambitions, and of your values. If there is something I got from my experience, is that if you have enough passion and courage to set your objectives clearly, and you are ready to struggle to achieve them, it's difficult that you will not be rewarded in any way. Of course, luck plays also a role, but it is first of all how much you believe in what you do and in the skills you have. Then maybe you'll find yourself in front of excruciating dilemmas you will think you could never solve, but you will also discover that this is the beauty of becoming adults. To conclude, I would like to give you some tips coming from my very short working experience. My main suggestion for you is to try to be as much independent as you can as economists, trying always to distinguish facts from opinions. The world is full of herding behaviors, and the real comparative advantage today is to have your own clear view on facts. Working as a macro analyst in financial markets, I am flooded every day with a great amount of news and research notes from press, counterparties, and research institutions. The amount of information available today in the internet era is so huge that it became very difficult to distinguish between real informative signals and simple noises. In this environment, what becomes really important is not how much information you have available, but the way in which you process it. But don't be scared, believe me. The Barcelona GSC has provided you with all the tools and the values necessary to read the complexity of the world and to give you a reasonable interpretation of it. So do it, don't be shy, be confident about your skills, but be brave enough to recognize your limits, because this is the first fundamental step in your continuing learning process and in your self-growth. Do not stop to be curious, never. Love what you do, get involved in it as much as you can, because remember, this is the engine of your personal improvement. I hope that you will bring these little words I've been telling you today inside your pockets together with your experience at the Barcelona GSE, and that they will be somehow helpful for you. Again, it was a pleasure to be here, and my congratulations again to all of you. Thanks.
Well, I know that all of you have many things to say about this year, but it's a hot summer day, so we just have only one of you to say something. So, Benjamin Anderson.
Sisplau. Bon dia, buenos dias, and good morning. What an honor to be addressing this immensely talented group of young thinkers and leaders. Yes, I'm hinting that there was more to this indescribably special year in Barcelona than the assembly of arguably the most lethal frontline in the history of football. I'm talking about the Barcelona GSE class of 2015. No one could do justice to the diversity and uniqueness of the brilliant group of individuals among us today. At first, I thought to myself, how in the world will I be able to do this? My solution was drawn from my knowledge of political economy. I've tried to aggregate preferences over what y'all would like to hear on graduation day, and I'll do my best to align my words with the median student, whatever that means in this context. Well, what I can say is while we don't associate the median with anything special, the median student at Barcelona GSE is nothing short of extraordinary. Today, we send 218 members representing 58 nationalities out into the world. We will dream big, pursue our own paths, and take risks. It's been the job of the Barcelona GSE to prepare us for this next major step in our lives. It is now our job to leverage these tools. While today is about the graduating class and what we've achieved, there's nothing that can express a sufficient level of gratitude to all the people who have made today possible. We're deeply grateful to all of the parents. Not a day goes by in Barcelona without feelings for the lasting wisdom and encouragement you provide. A tots els pares y familiars, gracias pel vostre suport y estima que han fet possible aquest màster. El nostre èxit és el vostre. Sisplau, gràcies. Gracias, sisplau. Un agradecimiento especial a todos nuestros padres y madres. Muchas gracias por todo su amor y respaldo durante este tiempo. Sin ustedes este máster no habría sido posible. Gracias. Regardless of the words we can say in any language, I bet they'll be just as happy with a loving hug and a great big smile. Remember to do that today. We must also give great thanks to the professors, faculty, and staff of GSE who have contributed to the intellectual and personal growth we'll take forth from here. At one time or another, we've also benefited from the mentorship of our peers, even if at first we were shocked and intimidated by the talents of our fellow classmates. Everyone sitting in this room deserves a tremendous thanks for the impact on our lives. Few people on the planet have had the opportunity to gain from an academic, social, environmental, and cultural experience like the one Barcelona GSE offers. Pompeu Fabra, Autónoma Barcelona, and the special culture of this city have combined to create an outstanding academic environment to challenge and cultivate young minds. Today, we should all recognize how fortunate we really are. Don't get me wrong, none of this comes without a struggle. While we've acquired many new tools, some of the experiences we have gained are equally valuable. We were shocked at times by the vastness of knowledge that we did not have. We were beyond humbled, and sometimes we felt limited in our abilities to retain information at the pace we were expected to. The tough times tested us to the point of submission, but on the most depressing day, we could go where our classmates and friends were sure to be, the GSE study rooms, to find our smile again. It may not have made work any easier, but it sure made a world of difference to help break through a plateau. Whether it was the cooling, many of us will always remember being captivated like children by the everyday wonders that breathe brand new life into our spirits. Whether it was the cooling, gentle sea breeze that whispers through the elegant palms on a walk to class on a fall Mediterranean day, the simple distraction of hippies slacklining in the park, the bursts of laughter among friends echoing out of the tapas bars, the glow of the moonlight over the sea as uncommissioned artists craft sandcastle masterpieces, a quiet escape in the shady Plaza Felipe Neri, or discovering the city's best gelato as a reward for our hard work. Each tiny miracle enriched our souls, and it reminded us that everything's going to be all right. We were tested not only intellectually, we had to balance the rigor of academic life with real life. There were certainly so many devastating pieces of news that were received from around the world, among the GSE community, and from home, which for many of us, home is a faraway land. They say, out of sight, out of mind, which may be true, but distance has the opposite effect on the heart. The isolation and powerlessness multiplies our susceptibility to pain. Through all these conditions, we persevered. When we needed someone to lean on for a moment of support in the future, we will have a friend we can call on within the circle of GSE. We've built relationships that will last a lifetime. We've thrived in this environment, although sometimes it didn't feel like it, and evolved intellectually and as human beings, an outcome that's not as likely to occur from a luxurious vacation in the Costa Brava. After all, we wouldn't be here studying economics if we didn't care about identifying the answers to hard questions. It's no mistake why we are here today. We've earned it. These adversities taught us a lot about life and the intangibles we need. We learned it's not success or achievement alone that can make you happy, and without confidence, it is impossible to succeed. Therefore, self-confidence is the key predictor of triumph and satisfaction. Confidence and self-satisfaction are not things that you wait for, that happen at some precise point in the future. Confidence, triumph, and satisfaction are a mentality and feelings that are with us in this moment and remain in our presence throughout life's journey. And it doesn't take until you have your dream job, a reputation, or the admiration of others. While we are considerably more confident in our knowledge and intelligence, maintain a strong connection to your humanity. Remember that sometimes the greatest rewards come when we don't think like rational economic agents and have the courage to put others first. Our hearts have a way of reminding us that sometimes it's better to feel than to know. Let us continue breaking down the fences in our world that force us to grow apart. The potential of what we can achieve collectively is always greater than what we can achieve independently. If we're lucky, we'll not only shape our own futures, but perhaps play a pivotal role in solving some of the world's collective action problems. It's okay to start small, and we can feel good about it. Have no fear or guilt that you aren't doing what you're supposed to do, because you are doing what you're supposed to do. Ordinary things in aggregate can amount to something wondrous. Imagine what small daily achievements in aggregate can make our stories spectacular. Perhaps this is why even the highest of expectations are shattered. It's good to set goals, but none of us should subscribe to the idea that a goal is a limit. It's up to us to reconcile our desires with reality. Maximize the present because you won't get it back. Treasure it because you'll never be the exact same person again, and love it because you're better for it. Finally, take comfort in knowing that it's not always what we do, but how we live our lives. The future is uncertain, life is uncertain, but worry not about things outside of your control. Life inevitably screws up the best of plans, and it's up to us to deal with the unexpected. Be conscious of risk, but never fear. Fear is as unproductive as laziness. Both are a waste of time, and fear is boring. This quest for meaning, happiness, and success happens every moment of every day. We owe it to ourselves to repay the sacrifices we've made this year by building upon them. Challenge your body like many of us have during sunrise workouts on the beach. Challenge your mind like we have in the study rooms, furiously transmitting knowledge between one another with whiteboard and dry erase markers. Challenging limits is the only way to defy them. Protect this investment. Now the time has arrived to challenge your soul by reflecting on this year. Make a promise to yourself today that you will use these experiences as fuel and motivation to power your dreams. This year, we made incredible measurable achievements. Going forward, we set a standard for ourselves. Our incredibly diverse backgrounds, skills, and interests have awed and humbled us, inspiring us to operate less egocentrically and have highlighted that we are worth more than comparisons. Society often tries to impose a measuring stick to evaluate ourselves or define for us success. To be self-aware of strengths and weaknesses is one thing, but do not be consumed with it. The ability to overlook one's position relative to others across some observable dimension, especially when this dimension is not correlated with your passion, and instead to compete with oneself, that's success. Don't submit to the temptation to fall in line with predefined roles and prescribed routes to personal or professional attainment. Rewards and accolades fail to define you. No measure outside your own properly reflects the gifts that you have been given, the skills that you have developed, and your purpose. Achievement is a mirage when it's not a goal that you yourself had set. Achievement is an unsurpassable feeling when it's something you did for yourself. No achievement will be more uplifting than that which is your own. Let your self-confidence and definition of success bring meaning and precipitate a new and improved reality. As economists, we often try to model reality, but the most important model we'll ever construct is that of who we choose to be and who we desire to become. We learned a lot about growth this year, and how we choose to measure it is extremely important. On both an aggregate and an individual level, we realize that conventional measures can be misleading. It's essential to evaluate more than our observable mental, physical, or financial stocks. The concept of improvement punctuates more precisely how we should conceptualize this ever-present objective we call growth, and at least in the individual sense. Dean Smith, the Hall of Fame basketball coach at the University of North Carolina, the coach of a young Michael Jordan and many other greats who passed away in February, had a lot of wisdom when it came to this. Coach Smith told his players, "Don't get too caught up on winning, because sometimes when you win, you actually lose. And sometimes when you lose, you actually win." Life is a continuous learning and improving process, so it's useless to dwell on past success or agonize over defeat. He said, "If you make every game a life and death proposition, you're going to have problems. For one thing, you'll be dead. A lot." Pause to reflect and reposition, but don't freeze, because time won't. Improvement is a vision that we should always strive for. It implies only net gains. It has already factored in externalities, trade-offs in the future. The logic is beautifully simple. When it comes to our own human capital development, we have learned lessons that should redefine our thinking, less in terms of the handy, superficial observables, and more in line with the concept of improvement. The holistic criteria of improvement by construction yield better outcomes. Today is a day more worthy than most for a deep breath, rejuvenation, for reflection, and for celebration. Today is a day filled with emotions, but fear is not one of them. It's like the invigorating feeling at the top of Montserrat or looking down over Barcelona from Tibidabo, where clarity dominates clutter. You're scared of nothing. As great as today feels, if we keep improving, it can get even better. I'm going to end with a story I've adapted from the wise words of contemporary Roman philosopher and economist Alessandro Pucci. I think he's sitting in one of the first few rows here. They say the sky's the limit. Think of every star in the night sky. Think of your favorite ones. Pick a point beyond those. Think about how to get there. Aim every day. Know that you'll often face adversity and uncertainty, but never fear. And think how nice it will be to land even farther beyond them, adding something new, beautiful, and unique that the world has never seen before. Something that only you imagined. Each of us are our own star with expectations beyond anything anyone else believes is possible. Let's take off.
Thank you, Benjamin. Let me end by thanking first Antonio Burfal for having been with us. It's been very meaningful. Antonio Jimenez and AXA for hosting us. I mean, it's been a great place to have this ceremony and the Vice Rectors, all of you. And as it was said before, the ones who had been silent but had made this possible. All of you, the parents who had come today to the ceremony. Thanks. And of course, congratulations once more. And now we have a well-deserved cocktail outside.